run Zelda NMG or Zelda Randomizer in the early days before we had a lot of sprites, you know, getting your bomb jump spacing and timing and using different pixels, sometimes you don't want to switch away from that vanilla Link sprite just because you have all of your setups ready and going. So I don't blame them. It's just bad because, yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks like we know what our starting weapon is right away. No mystery this time. We're going to start with sword.
Yep, Uncle walking out of there with the sword, so that absolutely tells us that's what we're going to get. You know, normally I like to keep the mystery alive in a relationship, but sometimes knowledge is power too.
Yeah, Uncle not giving us that mystery this time. We'll see how they feel about the vanilla sword, though.
Well, I mean, vanilla sword is kind of one of those median things. It's not the fastest way to get through the entirety of Escape. It's not the slowest by any capacity. And you can go ahead and farm up for bombs without worrying about your magic meter. So, you know, all right, I guess.
Yeah, I guess sword is like my second least favorite of all of them. Oh, but we can start with the bow too, why not?
Okay, we're just, all the weapons are going to be in Escape, right?
Yeah, sure.
So going through what is effectively a vanilla escape routine, we're going to shoot for around that 6-minute mark to get entirely through the escape sequence. Don't know, I'm not as familiar with Quizbowl and Ultimate Dave as much as some of the other runners, but to get any wins in this tournament, you got to be at least pretty decent. So we really should be seeing like around that 6-minute mark, depending on how much they have to farm for rupees.
Yeah, probably like 6.5 to 7. Well, they don't have to farm rupees too much, but yeah, for the bomb and checking those chests, usually it's about 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how fast you get that bomb.
Oh, and some sync here between these two. Dave opting to kill one soldier by throwing him down into the pit. For shame, Dave.
Maybe the guard deserved it.
I mean, that guard is the one that was ultimately responsible for Jesse Pinkman and his efforts in Breaking Bad. That's the headcanon I'm going with.
All right. Well, we did get a bomb drop on Quizbowl's side there.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty significant advantage. Half magic. What?
Well, it's not a weapon, but it helps some of the weapons, I guess.
I mean, I absolutely love half magic. It does make some things a little bit more interesting if you do end up with having to use rods throughout the game. So it's nice. It's not thrilling, but nice.
Yeah, and the interesting to note as well, the bomb drop that Quizbowl did end up getting was actually an 8-bomb drop. So he'll be set for through Kakariko.
Princess Zelda just has a piece of heart in her treasure chest. So Quizbowl does have a slight edge here, but as with Randomizer, it's not really who gets through it this part first, but who finishes Ganon first.
Yeah, a little bit of a lead might help, but still a long ways to go before we start thinking about that.
Oh, and I do see a message from Quizbowl saying here to apologize to everyone for the quality of his stream. He streams on a potato. He is explicitly apologizing to everyone, so thank you, Quizbowl.
But yeah, about a 4-minute time out of the basement of Hyrule Castle. So yeah, both the runners making very good time.
The main difference here, not only does Quizbowl have, you know, a couple second lead right now, Ultimate Dave is still going to have to farm some bombs somewhere, hopefully. Quizbowl is good to go. Those 8 bombs are going to do him not only through the escape, but also through the entirety of Kakariko Village as well.
Yeah, I'll probably still end up buying some before leaving Kakariko, because you'll be down to about 4, which is enough to check all the places in the light world, but then you might run out of bombs still. But who knows what we might find in Kakariko as well.
All right. We do know that this last treasure chest has to be a key, at least in the dark room. So we're still looking for. I don't think we found the map quite yet. So there's really going to be only 3 treasures left in the 5 treasure chests that we have left to open.
Yep, Dave's trying to get that. There he gets his 1 bomb at least.
I mean, that'll absolutely be nice in terms of setting up what he needs to be doing for the escape sequence and saving the time there. But his Kakariko routing is not going to be quite as fun because he's going to have to go and buy bombs first thing as opposed to doing anything else, unless he happens to find bombs on the way.
It's still possible that might happen. We'll see. Alright, so Sank Chest will have something.
Pretty rich seed, all things. I mean, we got a 300 rupee drop, but then we've seen a lot of 20s dropping as well as we're going through. So, kind of a money-heavy seed up to this point in time. They should have no problems with money throughout the game, at least so far.
Yeah, not looking for too much more to be able to buy everything you need in the seed now. Well, there's some bombs in the Sanctuary chest, and Ultimate Dave gets an 8 drop anyway, so he's set at this point now.
Oh, that's fortunate for Ultimate Dave, especially since it didn't look like he spent too much time farming. Good luck on that one, Dave. And we'll see where Quizbowl ends up going. We've seen a lot of runners kind of avoid this early Lumberjack Ledge check, but others have opted to go ahead and do it. And it looks like Quizbowl's at least going to give us a hint at what is on Lumberjack Ledge.
Tier 2 tree pull looks like it is just some hearts. And Bush Crab is also hearts. Looked like just an arrow upgrade.
Well, not going to be doing Aga just for an arrow upgrade, but we still have a long way to go before we have Dark World access otherwise.
Yep, so far I don't have any of the pieces of the puzzle for Dark World access normally. But Mushroom Spot, we had our first heart container. And a Moon Pearl in the cave.
That's our first piece of the puzzle. 3 items are necessary to give us Dark World access. The Moon Pearl, at least 1 lift upgrade, and then either the second lift upgrade or the hammer. So, first piece of the puzzle is done.
Yep, but that piece of the puzzle also does go to Aga 1, so who knows? That's still a potential, because they already have the sword for it. They only need either Cape and Lamp or Master Sword and Lamp.
Alright, Quizbowl giving us our first look into Blind's Hut, which is the first of kind of super dense locations in Kakariko. We got a big 20, a little bit of love, a little bit more money, a lot more love. Man, that's disappointing.
All that red. And
even more red.
Let's finish it up with some more. Why not?
I mean, I don't know what kind of business Blind had going on in the hut, but nothing but money and love. That's not legal in most places.
I mean, yeah, maybe Hyrule, the laws are different, but who knows?
I mean, I don't judge different cultures, folks.
I mean, we are playing Randomizer. Maybe the laws are randomized too.
Hey, yeah, we just happen to pull Nevada laws. I'm fine with that.
And we've got another heart container in the well. All right, well, there's our first lift upgrade. So now we are just hammer or lift upgrade from Dark World.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Still no real direction in terms of where we're going, and that's the best deal I've ever seen from that guy.
Yeah, I'm really wondering about the laws of Hyrule now and how that guy's just giving money away.
Yeah, that's not a very solid business plan. You'll give me 100 rupees. I give you 300 rupees. That I don't think is long-term viable, but, you know.
It's just on special days he does that. We just caught him on the right day.
That seems fine. It's all right. Zora will scam us out of it anyway.
This is true. Maybe that's what it is. Him and Zora working together. I'll give him the money, you just take it back.
Or we're just money runners to Zora. I like how I immediately think the worst of Link. Alright, so Quizbowls, and we see, oh, the flutes. I think we're going to go back and pick that up.
Yeah, I think you're going through the race game to pick that one up. It's probably not going to see many saves and quits in this seat at this point.
I can't imagine so. And Dave is also going to check beforehand, so he'll have to come back eventually. And you can have this trash, which is not trash, which is obviously something awesome. We might see an early dive if we end up getting the Titansmiths. Something early in the Meyer Shed area, at least from a logical perspective. That's kind of early in the sequence, isn't it?
Yeah, if we would get the Mitts as our Dark World access, Meyer would definitely be there. The Meyer area would be open. Meyer itself wouldn't be even close yet. But yeah, that could be interesting to have something in there.
What's, I think, most interesting in looking at kind of the items that we have so far, the Aga Dream is not dead yet. We still do not have access to the east side of the Dark World. It's locked behind either the hammer or the flippers. Without one of those two items, it's still entirely possible that we're going to be required to defeat Aghanim.
Yeah, that is true. So, but we're gonna get the dam check.
Well, there's our first map check. Looks like it's a vanilla green, one of the 5 sticks up in Tower of Hera, and then another crystal down in Desert.
That is true. That's what I saw.
And with that, both UltimateDaveLIVE and Quizbowl have unleashed our feathered friend. The dodo is a go-go, as they say.
Yeah, nothing important in the dam, but we've got 5 chests here in Mini Moldorm Cave after taking out these 4 Mini Moldorms.
Both runners following kind of a very logical sequence of events right now. No real room for any sequence breaking or route divergence at this point. And so far, oh, there's our Titansmiths.
Yep, there's partial Dark World access. Like you said, don't have access to east side yet, but we can make it in now, and that's also Meyer area too.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I see this particular setup this early, I'm going right to the Meyer Shed. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get it done as fast as can, because there's so few options that this opens up. I mean, it opens up a lot of the Dark World, absolutely, but when you have this particular sequence, it's a quick check. Go ahead and do it. You might find something awesome.
Yeah, it's nice and quick, so... Only thing that would make it quicker and more convenient is if they find, like, the mirror. That way they won't have to save and quit after doing it, but that's about it.
Oh! That
Okay.
was nice!
Well, I was about to ask, you know, at this point, they've got the money for Zora, they have the Moon Pearl, you're gonna fake Flipper up there, but... Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's another place where we get exactly what we need just before. And yeah, that's pretty likely. Go ahead and do your Zora check. You got the money. You have, I mean, you got everything. Just go ahead and do it now. And that's access to the east side of Death Mountain, east side of Dark World now. So,
Yeah.
Rip Dark World, or Aga.
Yep, Aga is dead. We just had a bomb upgrade on Lake Hylia Island, so won't be going for that.
Okay, I need to stress, it's not entirely that Aga is dead yet, but it is like on life support, 99.9% likely dead. The only way that Aga could possibly be required is if the hammer is in the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh yeah, that's small chance, but yes, that depends on where the next 5/6 crystal is as well, though.
This is true. So, Aga is on life support. He's not all dead. He's mostly dead. I mean, okay, that's a pretty hype waterfall fairy. Both the cane and the master sword and the waterfall check.
So now, chance of this happening is very slim, but if you would find like the Meyer medallion in the lamp in the Meyer shed, Meyer's open. Oh no, it's not. Not quite. We need boots or hook shot still. That's right.
Yeah, not quite. Close, but not quite. And what kind of scam does Capitalist Zora have for us today?
500 rupees for 10 arrows.
Those are the best 10 arrows. The artisanal arrows with hand-plucked feathers from, you know, a dying eagle breed.
I mean, I was just going to go and say I don't think Zora got the memo that this isn't retro mode, and those aren't silver arrows, but okay.
Not yet, no. But here we got Quizbowl. Looks like he's on his way over here to the eastern area, which is a pretty solid play. He's got the bow, no lamp, so he can sequence break through here if he so desires. It is a green pendant, though. I don't know if I would necessarily sequence break if it was a green pendant, but we'll see what Quizbowl decides to do.
Yeah, it's interesting, because if this was a crystal, it's definitely something you'd more think about doing. And Dave is going to the ledge. So it's just 10 arrows, but he's grabbing them anyways.
That's curious, but okay.
And so first item in Eastern is the heart container.
And looks like Dave is also going to be making the play over to the eastern area. Curious that neither of them wanted to dip into the Dark World at any point in time. Otherwise, they're just still checking these Sphere 1 locations.
And it's probably a good thing they went to Eastern, because we have a hammer. So Aga's off life support now. He's dead.
Yeah, we pulled the plug on Aga. Sorry, guys.
Oh. So Sahasrara has a bottle and boots.
The bottle is nice because that's one of our fetch quests. The boots are even nicer because, I mean, we like to go fast, and who doesn't like to go fast when you're a speedrunner? Dave is going to be able to get through most of Eastern a little bit faster than Quizbowl with all these straightaways.
Yeah, he will. And as far as the last item in Eastern, it is locked behind the lamp, because we're going to have to go to the dark area to get the big key, and then either Armos or the big chest will have that third item.
You know, I never quite know what to say when someone's navigating dark rooms, because I can't say, oh, look at that amazing dodge, because, you know, it's not.
I mean, we could fake chat out and pretend that we can actually see what's going on, that we have some magic filter.
You know, chat already accuses us of witchcraft on various things associated with Commentator's Curse. I want to encourage that no more.
Alright, but Quizbowl grabs his big key, he's going to check that big chest, and be interesting to see if he finds the third item if he decides to clear the dungeon anyways. It is green pendant, so it's still worth an item.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Quizbowl is going to go ahead and do it. There's the third item. We did note that Quizbowl dodged Sahasrara. I think he's going to try to route all that together. I would say Ultimate Dave is probably more likely to avoid killing the boss because he's already visited Sahasrara, but that seemed to me to be the plan from the get-go for Quizbowl.
Yeah, definitely. Having a little bit of problem in this dark room, though. He's going to jump down and get a fairy.
Hey, the fact he was able to go back and find his way out with one heart is actually super nice.
Alright, so dark room attempt 2.
Quizbowl getting a little bit lost in the dark here. Spins trying to keep himself going.
Well, he killed one of them, but he's got to get the key now.
Yeah, and the problem is we can't hear the clinks and clanks that are going on. And it looks like Quizbowl is resetting the room again.
Might decide to just try to do it with the Master Sword now.
Alright, there's
There
one, and he got the key, yep.
Yeah, the Green Igors, they do die to Master Sword. You don't have to shoot them with the bow. Faster with the bow, but...
Alright, so here Ultimate Dave is doing kind of what we thought he would do. He's leaving after he finds that third item in Escape. He has no interest in going and getting that green pendant, at least for now. So if this ends up being a solid sequence break for Quizbowl, this could be something good for him. And it looks like Dave is getting ready to enter his first check into the Dark World from the Village of Outcasts area. So we might get our first early map check as well.
And got Ice Palace was 5. I saw Pendant Turtle Rock, I believe, and I missed the second pendant.
Second pendant was Thieves Town, actually. So we know at least Eastern Palace was required because the hammer's there, and the hammer is always required. But we'll see if Pendant Thieves Town or Pendant Turtle Rock is required for any other items. Pendant Turtle Rock ought to make every person nervous who's running.
I mean, I'm more wondering why it's a pendant when it's like 25 minutes in. We still haven't seen an ice rod yet.
I mean, we do have an early cane though, so there's that. All right, here we find if this play for Quizbowl was a scam.
Yep.
Yes.
And I don't blame him for doing that at all, because, you know, it was a gamble because it was already a sequence break to begin with. But if it would have been something, that could have very well paid off huge in amounts.
Yeah, I mean, there is no right or wrong way to do it. It's just all about, is it a good gamble or a bad gamble? And we completely understood what Quizbowl was doing because it's a logical sort of play. It didn't pay off this time, unfortunately, but let's see. Quizbowl looks like he's going to go do King's Tomb and possibly Bonk Rocks as well. He does have everything to go ahead and do this logically with the Titansmith and the boots. This might be something interesting following these breadcrumbs. Yes!
Yep, that's huge.
And yeah, he was just reading the seed. Follow the breadcrumbs. Obviously, you got the boots, you got the Titansmiths. Go ahead and do it. And that's going to make the Dark World routing so much easier for Quizbowl over Ultimate Dave.
And not only that, it gives them access to locations that Ultimate Dave is going to have probably for a while at this point.
Yep, and there's the Fire Rod. Wow. So those boots unlocking all the value, Fire Rod, and the mirror, that just blew the game wide open there for Quizbowl.
Yeah, and he's gonna, and I don't blame him for doing this at all. He's going to Death Mountain because he has access to everything except 3 chests in all of Hookshot Cave. Actually, that's the only thing he doesn't have access to right now. And there's an incredible amount of value up here.
Oh, absolutely. And you can go ahead and complete Tower of Harry. You're not guaranteed to be Fire Rod locked. Oh, God. A shovel in the Spectacle Rock Cave. So, sidetracked slightly for that.
I mean, the nice thing to note is you found it early before you've done your Dark World route with blacksmiths at this point with mirrors, so you can just route that in when you check the grove.
Absolutely. That is going to be kind of a significant check if something ends up being there. Ultimate Dave is opting to go ahead and do this other pendant dungeon in Thieves Town. He did do the check early. Quizbowl will be going around and doing this, I would say, a much more lucrative opportunity that is Death Mountain, both the light and the dark side together.
Yep, unless we find Hookshot, we'll be leaving 3 chests and the tablet behind, as well as Spike Cave, but still, there's a lot of items up here.
One thing that I think Quizbowl is going to want to do while he's up here as well will be to check whatever medallion is on that turtle rock. If anything, just hoping that you don't need to get that to use it.
Yeah, you see it and just pray that you never see that medallion at all. So he did. So Dave found all 4 items in Thieves Town. Does not grab blind and take him back. He's just going to opt out of the dungeon.
I mean, that's smart at this point in time, and it looks like he's going to go down and do this south kind of Hype Cave route. So this will be our first check into Hype Cave. Chat, get your guesses in. What kind of Hype Cave are we going to be looking at? Because we've seen Hype Caves range from 10 of 10 would totally hype again, all the way down to the why did we waste our time on this junk?
I mean, I've even seen some 11 of 10 hype caves. They were.
Oh, yeah.
The hype just could not be contained.
And Quizbowl actually misses that bomb jump and is going to fall all the way back down to the first floor of the Tower of Hera, unfortunately. Hey, Bob. Bombs. Love. Love. Money.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Can't even get excited about a hype. So, about a fetch quest or anything. So, yeah, that's... Would not hype again. I mean, the heart containers didn't even, like, refill your hearts. You didn't even get something out of that, so... And Ultimate Dave is going to be doing this kind of South Hyrule routing right now. These are smart checks to make with what Dave knows, but we know that Quizbowl is going to be able to do at least 2 checks here that Ultimate Dave cannot. Not only the shovel spot, but also that Cave 45 South Grove ledge as well.
I think we're still looking for 1 item, I believe, in Hera. It's either going to be on Troll Dome or in the basement.
Well, and, you know, there are different opinions on whether or not you... I mean, you absolutely hope, just for the sake of your time, that there's nothing in the basement. But if there is something in the basement, you know that your opponent is probably going to have to do it too. So you don't lose too much sleep over it.
Yeah, of course. Oh, but Troll Dorm is going to troll.
And we see Ultimate Dave. Looks like he's also going to be doing hammer pegs. He's not going to be able to mirror over, though. He's going to be setting up, after hammer pegs is done, he will likely be going ahead and doing a save quit, which is good news because then he can do Hype Cave, not Hype Cave, King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks, which we know have excellent value. Quizbowl does find his last item right there on Moldorm, so no trip to the basement for him.
Yeah, so we'll see where... Yeah, I doubt Dave's going in Thieves Town considering he grabbed the Smith. So yeah, he's going to save and quit. Actually, I guess I must have miscounted. There's still an item in here. We only found dungeon items.
Oh. Well, okay then. Alright, so Dave's going to go over here into King's Tomb. He's going to find his mirror. He's going to be slightly disappointed that he didn't check this sooner.
Yep, I'm going to check Bonk Rocks as well and get his fire rod.
Yep, that'll be his first fire source, so he'll absolutely be happy to see that. And there's just more money up there. So Quizbowl will be backing out of Tower of Hera and will be completing the rest of the Death Mountain sequence.
Yeah, I still think there's 12 items that are technically accessible at this point.
Well, that's an interesting spot for the lamp.
Yeah, it's accessible. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see Quizbowl pick that up when he goes to the Dark World.
Absolutely. Quizbowl is opting to go ahead and do the Spiral Cave instead of other routing. Perfectly fine. A lot of people kind of logically think that, oh, we'll do Light World and then we'll do Dark World. If you approach it from the top, though, like he did, I think it's actually a little bit faster if you start in at the dark world and then go over to the light world, because you can hit those few just boom, boom, boom.
Yep, and nothing important was on the blacksmiths, but Dave's gonna head into the dark world. We'll see how he decides to go about this. In a bottle, 20 rubies. Piece of heart. 50 rupees and 20 rupees.
That's too bad. And it looks like Dave is just full committing to this kind of south route, going to finish up with the purple chest. Didn't even go back and do cave 45, and he does have the mirror now. He opted to just immediately mirror and come right on over. So this it pays off with, you know, the latest toy sensation, Fisher Price, My First Shield.
Yeah, and we'll see where he's off to next. I guess he's going up Death Mountain himself, but he's gonna go through the dark room.
I mean, kind of taking the long way, but that's fine. Meanwhile, Quizbowl finds the best cane in the game, Cane of Burnout.
Let's play Caves in Logic now.
Yep, just another check he can go ahead and do. And he's doing his Turtle Rock check, which will be Bombos.
So you don't want to see Bombos anymore.
And nothing in that first chest, and it does look like Quizbowl is going to go ahead and pick up that lamp and says, I have no interest in doing any more dark rooms, please and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the dark rooms that you have to. I mean, granted, you have the fire rod, so pod dark rooms, at least the basement isn't terrible. But Misery Mire dark room by itself, just the time you're spending to get this lamp could easily save you that time in Misery Mire by itself.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm one of those people that like to see the lamp first thing, because not only is it a fire source, but I'm a pansy and don't like to do dark rooms. So
I like seeing it after I have Dark World access.
And you notice Quizbowl hitting those kind of 4 cardinal direction bushes. Those 4 bushes, just for people wondering why you see some people do that sometimes, there's an increased likelihood of one of those 4 bushes actually having a fairy in them, so you can refill your hearts before going into this spike cave area. Makes getting through here a little bit easier.
Well, I think it's worth it. That's silver arrows.
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll totally take that.
And I mean, we already have the bow too, so now we have a very potent weapon.
Yeah, and worth noting, we have a lot of bosses still that are quite susceptible. You know, Vitreous by itself is great, but silvers can also be used on Argus, can also be used on Landmos, even Helmasaur King once you've removed the helmet. So doing relatively nice in terms of being able to use those silvers efficiently on lots of different enemies.
but Dave's gonna make his way through Tower of Hera. Quiz is gonna check Sick Kid. I don't believe Dave's done this just yet. Just a piece of heart, though.
It is still anyone's game right at the moment. Keep in mind, Dave has done some overworld checks. He's done the entire Jeremiah loop. He's done some other routing things. Quizbowl, he's done all of the Village of Outcasts and dipped into Thieves Town. Quizbowl, this is going to be his first trip into the Dark World proper area, but he's done mostly Death Mountain. He also full cleared Eastern Palace right now.
Yeah, so it might look like Dave's really far behind because he's just going to Hera now. We have a book in Skull Woods, though. But they're a lot closer than it actually seems right now.
Absolutely. So, I will say this because we happen to be in the area and we have a book. Let's measure our pedestal height index, because I know this is something chat likes to know about. What could possibly be on the pedestal? And I hate to tell you guys, it's not looking too good for you. We have about the only thing that could be of worth that can be on the pedestal would be either the Misery Mire medallion, or if it's not, Bombos and the hookshot. That's kind of it.
Yep, gotta be one of those two or a fetch quest to one of those two at this point. But yeah, if I was Quizbowl having everything, I would check it. You're already in the area at this point, and it's knowledge at that point. You find out that it is one of those items, then you're golden.
Oh yeah, I would absolutely do that. And Quizbowl is going to head over there. Looks like he's going to be confident in his ability to take on Mothula with Fighter Sword, and I think he picked up some blue goo as well, so I think he'll be all right in that area. Fire Rod half magic on its own.
Yeah, he picked up 2 blue goos actually, so yeah, he should be more than ready for Mothula.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to get our pedestal check, so this could be interesting. A bottle of green goo.
Yep, so a major item on the pedestal, but nothing that they need.
Yep, the pet is dead. Aga's dead. This is just no fun. I mean, what kind of fun are we gonna have in this scene? The green pendant didn't lead to anything. Aga didn't do anything. I mean, to get our daily dose of troll, it feels like we need to have something in Pendant Turtle Rock, doesn't it?
Well, if you want the maximum amount of troll, not only is it going to be a Pendant Turtle Rock, it's going to be on Trinex. So you got to find that ice rod.
I don't need the maximum dose. I just need my, FDA approved, required daily dose of troll. I don't need the maximum amount.
Well, yeah, that might be you, but we both know chat wants maximum.
Oh, that's fair. Meanwhile, Ultimate Dave is going to be going through the Paradox Cave and the rest of Death Mountain. We really didn't find a whole lot over here, did we?
No, I think the only real major thing we found in Death Mountain was Lamp. So I'm looking at the items between the two, and I think that's right. Well, and I guess Silver's with the Cane of Burna as well.
That is absolutely an interesting check, and I'll be interested to see if Dave ends up going over there, because it's something that can't necessarily plan on ahead of time. But if you get the Cane of Berna and you know it, you can go ahead and do it. Quizbowl, meanwhile, does beat Mothula, and we get the big key.
I don't know if we found both items in Skullwood, so that big chest might actually have the last item.
All right, so Quizbowl is going to be checking to see what's going to be in this big treasure chest. Dave's still clearing out Death Mountain. Where do we go from here? And that's, I mean, we have a lot of stuff open to us. We can go ahead and do Desert Palace. We can check the Misery Mire area. Pod is completely open to us. Ice Palace is completely open to us, depending on key logic and if the hookshot's required. But we really have quite a bit of the world open to us right now, don't we?
Yeah, I guess I would go to the Mire area and at least check Mire's requirements while you do, you know, Shed, Checkerboard, Cave. You might as well clear Desert while you're there, just to get that knowledge of what you need for Go mode at this point. What medallion are you looking for?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. You know, before you start diving too many dungeons, you want to know what you need to look for. So I tend to agree with you on that. Quizbowl, meanwhile, is going over here, is going to be checking what's in the Graveyard Ledge. This has been a spot that has trolled a lot of runners in this tournament. Had a lot of value here. It's kind of out of the way, so it's nice to go ahead and check it now while you're kind of in the area.
Gorm Dragon, the runners themselves are not allowed to be in chat during the race. Once they're finished with the race, then they can come into chat and they can watch the stream at that point. But due to spoilers, they're not allowed to be in chat or watch the restream or anything like that.
Yeah, got to keep it fair for all the runners so that they can't see where each other are, so they can't, you know, stream snipe and things like that. So, yeah, he if he watches the VOD back, he'll be able to see you comment on him, and if you want to make fun of him, like all good friends do, you can totally do it.
Yeah, Dave is also making a check on Spike Cave, so he's going to pick up his silvers.
So Quizbowl is also going to be dipping into Thieves Town, at least to check the first floor. Ultimate Dave, we'll see where he ends up going from here. It looks like he might be dipping into Pod. This is kind of an interesting play.
I mean, it is fully completable and completely within sequence, so don't blame this one whatsoever. And you need to complete it. It is Crystal.
All right, so Ultimate Dave does pick up Kiki the Extortionist Monkey. And it'll be interesting to see what we find here in Pod. Quizbowl does look like, even though he found a couple items in these first few chests, he's going to go ahead and continue diving in. Worth noting, Quizbowl has the knowledge that there's no point in getting the pendant, so I think he'll do something similar to what Ultimate Dave did, and back out as soon as he's counted the 4 items that are located here. Most of these runners, I think, will have their tracker going on their own sites to be able to know, yeah, I've already got my 4 treasures, I can nope out of here. Yeah,
and especially with him having knowledge of Pedestal, that it's not needed, so if you know, blind himself, doesn't have an item, there's no reason for me to even waste the time killing him.
Save the frames! Save blind. So meanwhile, Ultimate Dave is going through here in Pod. Pod is another crystal, so absolutely when you can go ahead and clear it out, go ahead and do so. Ultimate Dave might be hoping to use that logic that there's enough dark rooms here that the lamp being locked up there on Death Mountain will actually pay off. So Dave this time is doing his own kind of reading the tea leaves of the seed.
Yeah, I think that might be why both runners are kind of avoiding the mire area, because with the items you have right now, as soon as you have the medallion for mire, it's completely open now. So with no medallions, you know you can't get into mire, so yes, you can check everything else, but you're going to have to come back at some point anyways.
And that's fair logic to make when you're trying to kind of puzzle this together and figure out what's the best play that I can possibly make right now. Which, I mean, if you're first time watching, this is exactly why, you know, Swamp Palace, it may have 6 items in there. It is the most dense location, but because so many things are locked behind the hook shot, no point in even checking until you have that.
Yep, unless the seed wants to just have fun with you and put the hook shot inside.
And those are the sorts of seeds that chat loves to see and runners hate to see. And Quizbowl is counting his items, says, nope, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, and leaves before picking up his blind date. Come on, that was funny.
Yeah, that was good. Alright, but Dave's checked all the items in the front.
And Dave, unfortunately, has that wonderful red beetle horribleness kind of trolling him a little bit, getting stuck in those blocks. But we do get ourselves to the back half. The back half of Palace of Darkness is known for being a little bit more item heavy. The front half tends to have more keys. So we'll be getting our real value in Palace of Darkness here shortly.
Yep.
Zeke Fox, that is correct. The items on the tracker do not count what is normally on there. It's just what can we logically get. And once someone picks it up, our wonderful tracker, and I believe our wonderful tracker this evening is Merc249 doing all the work. Oh no!
Uh-oh.
So, for example, Ultimate Dave Live here just got the Bombos medallion out of that big treasure chest. You'll see Merc will be marking that Bombos medallion on Ultimate Dave Live's tracker. The reason why both Sir Link-a-Lot say and I say uh-oh is because that medallion is what is used to open up Turtle Rock. Because Turtle Rock is a pendant, theoretically we don't have to do it, and we would like to avoid it at all possible costs, but now logically it's in sequence, so something could possibly be there.
Well, this is Turtle Rock as a pendant. You mean something is going to be there?
Well, I mean, try not to confuse the new kids, guys. But yes, I mean, Pendant Turtle Rock has developed a reputation for, even when it's a pendant, you kind of have to check it sometimes.
And this chest is going to have to be a key.
Yep, 6 small keys total in Palace of Darkness. So if you're counting your keys, you absolutely know that. Dave says, no, not today, Beatles. So Quizbowl is going to go ahead and do this kind of south loop, but he'll be able to do it all together. He'll be able to check Stumpy. He'll be able to check the dig spot. He'll be able to check Cave 45 and Hype Cave and the Purple Chest location. Where he goes after that is anyone's business. Now, anyone's guess. I'm sorry.
There's one other location he can check.
Oh.
Bombos.
Oh, because it's right there. Absolutely. Now, there's one or a couple treasure chests or treasure locations that we haven't gotten as of yet that I'm a little bit concerned about that because we've had access to them for a while. The pyramid location and the catfish location. And Quizbowl does manage to pull the treasure chest in with him. That he released the treasure chest a little bit too close there. Had a little bit of trouble picking it back up.
Yeah, Dave having a little bit of trouble in the turtle room. Gonna have to be careful with 2 hearts because I don't think he has a safety.
I think you're right. I think Quizbowl is the one who picked up the potions. Oh my.
All right, so we potentially actually could be in go mode already.
Yeah, finding the hook shot in that dig spot. Now, Dave takes a death there.
So yeah, at this point with the items you have, well, I guess Quizbowl is still missing bombos. So he'll need to go to Pod to get that, but I think with him being literally a medallion away from go mode now, he's going to be going to Meyer to check it.
Yeah, that would absolutely be the smart play. You get this item, you go check Hype Cave, you check Bombo's medallion, but then you go to Meyer because you want to know exactly what you're looking for go mode. Considering Meyer's a crystal, that's the only thing you're really looking for. And if you're rooting for Quiz, you should hope that it's Bombos and not something else that we don't know, because then that opens up Turtle Rock for him, and we don't want that. And while he's here, he's like, yeah, let's route in the Agena Cave check, because that's something that's been available to us from the start of the game, and haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, and there's really no better time to route it than right after Bombos.
Either right after Bombos or right as you're finishing up Desert Palace. One of those two, but it's very, very close to one another.
Just a 10 bomb upgrade, though.
And Quizbowl fluting away, hopefully fluting right to that spot, just right next door to him. Yep. And here comes the moment of truth. Yeah, he knows it's a crystal. And we'll see. By Murderdactyl. It is Bombos!
We are in no mode right now. So yeah. Nothing in Turtle Rock then as a pendant.
I'm a little bit shocked, not gonna lie. So worth noting for those of you who are new here, we have 2 terms that we just use that I want to make sure that you understand and are aware of. Go mode is the term that we use when the runner has everything he or she needs to complete the entire game. That means complete all 7 crystal dungeons, climb Ganon's tower to defeat Ganon and Aghanim, and then Ganon. No mode, coincidentally, is when we as observers and commentators know where all the items are, but an individual runner has not necessarily picked them all up yet. So in this case, we are in no mode because all Quizbowl needs is the bombos. All Ultimate Dave really needs is that hook shot. Quizbowl has 2 crystals down. Ultimate Dave has 2 crystals down. It's just a matter of who hits that go mode first. Runners, especially speed runners, when they hit go mode, it's kind of a whole new ball game because you're not looking to open any more treasure chests. You're not trying to look for any more items. It's just complete the dungeon as fast as possible.
In this case, they'll probably end up checking chests that are like considered on the way, that they don't have to go out of their way for, looking for probably Tempered Sword, maybe even a mail upgrade just to, you know, give them a little bit more survivability. But yeah, other than that, they're not going to be looking for anything. And really, this is going to come down to when Dave decides to go check Shovel Spot and when Quiz decides to jump in the pod.
Yeah, and of those two, I think Quizbowl will likely end up doing pod first. That's a more sensible decision. The problem with Ultimate Dave is that he's kind of already been to the area. He has the shovel. He hasn't checked the shovel spot. He also doesn't have K45, so that might pull him back into that area. The problem is there's only 2 item location checks, and he's shown a tendency to dip into dungeons more. So I could easily foresee him doing like Ice Palace first, or dipping into Desert Palace and completing that, and full clear again. Ice Palace in particular, the difference between doing a full clear and a go mode clear is several minutes. So that might put Ultimate Dave quite a bit further behind over Quizbowl.
I think the major thing why Dave might not decide to go on ice is the key logic. If he's only missing hook shot, so depending on the key logic, hook shot can't even be an Ice Palace to begin with. Or there's very few spots for it to be.
This is true. That might hold Ultimate Dave out if he's familiar with that particular key logic, which, to be fair, the key logic and the logic in how Ice Palace works is so convoluted, not a lot of runners really understand it too well.
Alright, he's going to mirror, and we'll see where he goes. Probably going to make the play to Skull Woods first.
I mean, that's logical. You know you can go ahead and clear it. I do worry that he hasn't picked up any safeties, though, because Mothula can be kind of a rough fight. And Chad making a good point. We have gone pretty deep into this. We're at just over an hour, and we're still in green mail, which is slightly unusual.
Right, I think Quiz is going to... I think he's checking Hype Cave first. So I believe he kind of just skipped over Hype Cave.
Yeah, and I mean, you would feel pretty silly if what you have is absolutely in Hype Cave. Luckily, it's going to be a dud, so this is, you know.
Yeah, but I think with his routing at this point, he's going to go from here, maybe check Pyramid, and then right into Pod.
That would be good routing. That would be really kind of excellent routing on Quizbowl's part.
Leaves a bomb in Hype Cave.
I mean, I can understand being salty. He's really looking for that bombos, and that's all he's looking for to be in go mode. Quizbowl using the spin speed glitch. If you set it up just ever so slightly, if you're climbing stairs and then set up kind of a spin with your sword and then press A, I think within a couple frames of releasing the sword, you actually are trapped in the boot speed, even though you're not using the boot. So it's one of those ways that runners absolutely use to save time whenever you have a nearby staircase. And Quizbowl just executed it perfectly there on the pyramid. Because this game is coded so well. Right, guys?
Best coded game there is.
I mean, it's not like we're still finding glitches in this game that we can use to exploit and save frames upon frames or seconds upon seconds in speedrunning.
Yeah, nothing like that. But yeah, Quiz is making the plane a pod, so he's going to be in go mode soon.
And to answer your question, Gorm Dragon, yes, it's absolutely legal. Minor glitches are absolutely legal in this game, and minor glitches are usually defined ahead of time. But as a general rule, as long as you're not going, bypassing several items of logic, for example, using, breaking frames and cutting through walls that you're not supposed to, generally you're fine.
It was a very nice Mothula fight, though.
Oh, absolutely. That was quite clean. Ultimate Dave looking like he's going to mirror over and do his own ped check. Now he's going to be, it's really going to validate his earlier decisions that he made to skip on the Eastern Palace pendant and the Thieves Town pendant. So he's happy to see that that was nothing on the pedestal.
Yeah, and the fact that he went back into the Dark World is a good sign.
Absolutely. I think he still got to get the last item out of the big treasure chest, but where after that is kind of what we're hoping to see. Quizbowl, unfortunately, getting knocked around by these beetles. And these are the worst beetles in the game. Well, okay, never mind. I lied. They're not the worst beetles in the game.
So the question is going to be, where does Dave go now?
I mean, he can check the graveyard ledge. I really hope he heads south to the Grove and to the shovel dig spot, but he is looting away. Where are you going? Question was actually led to something. I mean, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, this seed decided to play really nice. But yeah, Dave is probably going to do, he's going to clear desert. Probably go and clear Mire after this.
Yep. Normally, I think, you know, for practitioners of the original video game when it first came out, a lot of people think you have to use the hook shot to get into Misery Mire because there's that wonderful gap there in Misery Mire. However, we have determined that it is within logic and developer intended to be able to use the boots to kind of bonk yourself against the wall to be able to jump the gap. And I believe Ultimate Dave will end up doing that as soon as he's finished up here. So we'll get to the point later where we tell you that bonking across gaps and show you why we think it's actually developer intended. But this logic for this game is built in to assume that you know how to bonk across that gap and able to complete that. It works in the Hookshot Cave for a specific treasure chest. It works here for access to Misery Mire, as we'll see here shortly from Dave. And there's a spot in Ganon's Tower, and we'll show you where that spot, because everyone has to at least walk by it, why we think it's in logic to do so.
Yeah, that one spot in Ganon's Tower, that's the whole reason why he believes it was developer intended.
So Quizbowl finishing up his Helmasaur fight. Ultimate Dave is getting ready for his Lanmo fight. Quizbowl gets to Silver Arrow shoot and one and done on Helmasaur King. He will pick up his 4th crystal, but will be able to go mode Swamp Palace, Ice Palace, and Misery Mire. And the difference between go mode and having to full clear Swamp Palace and Ice Palace is just huge.
Yeah, Swamp and Ice, definitely, that's just a huge time save, so...
Here, Quizbowl is going to start out in Ice Palace. These two dungeons, Ice Palace and Swamp Palace, along with Skull Woods, are the 3 dungeons where, logically, you don't necessarily need the big key to complete it. Misery Mire do have to open up a few more treasure chests to go ahead and find the big key, but because of the items and where they're placed, you don't necessarily logically need the big key in order to complete the dungeon. And see Quizbowl, there was a treasure chest in that room. Quizbowl says, nope, I'm in go mode, I'm done.
Yeah, that's one of those optional chests that you know, maybe check looking for a tempered sword. It doesn't take too long to get through that room with the hook shot.
At this point, you get the sense that Quizbowl might have might be like mentally committing himself to looking at a Master Sword Silver Ganon fight. And Master Sword Ganon, even with silvers, is kind of a pain, in particular with green mail, because Ganon does 8 hearts of damage. So just 2 hits from Ganon in Quizbowl's current state would kill him. So Master Sword Ganon, even with silver arrows right now, will be a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's a Ganon hug, even the fire bats and everything like those. I think that does 4 per hit, so still not a lot of leeway. Even with 2 potions, if you fill them with blue goo, can't get hit that many times.
Now, Quizbowl is setting up what is colloquially and lovingly known as the Ice Palace Bomb Jump. When you first learn minor sequence breaks and glitches, this is kind of the first bomb jump that you're always taught. Different people use different techniques, but it's effectively setting up a bomb to kind of bomb you diagonally past this, and there it is. That cuts down the total time of Ice Palace more than half.
Yep, but the main reason it does that is you don't have to go look for a big key or a key or anything like that. You just need to get to the point where you can push the block down, and that's it.
Yep. Thinking also that he finds some sort of armor upgrade or some other upgrade as he's going through Ganon's tower, in particular a sword, just because it's it would be really horrible. Oh!
He takes a death, though.
Yeah, everything in Ice Palace hits kind of hard. The vanilla game intends for you to have the blue mail by the time you get here, so the damage starts scaling up quite a bit.
Actually, the vanilla game does not, because the blue mail, I believe, is in here, actually. It's the big chest item of Ice Palace.
Well, yeah, like Cold Stare hits like a truck if you have green mail, because it's intended for you to have blue mail. And an Ice Palace death isn't fun, because he was pretty deep in there getting close to Cold Stare as it is, so he's going to have to redo a lot of work. And Dave!
But Dave takes a death himself. The 2 dungeons where deaths are the most costly.
Absolutely, just because it takes so much time to really get into the back of it. Dave is going to have to be careful. He's only working with 3 hearts, and he's going to have to do this bomb jump again, which is going to cost him at least 1 heart to jump across. And if he misses, that's it. He's kind of got 1 shot here.
He's got some blue goo, so he could use that if he messes it up, but... But he actually had to be even more careful, because you can get hit by the fire bar on your way down if you time that wrong.
Yeah, when you're falling down in this particular game, again, coding, great. Your hitbox is still registered as being on that square. So, for example, when you're falling down in Skull Woods into the hole for Mothula, the grabby Trump hand can absolutely grab you out of that hole and take you right back to the beginning. This fire bar can go ahead and damage you. Anything can happen when you're falling down. Your hitbox is still there.
And we're still on the hunt for the big key, and we found a compass in that chest, so I think the big key is actually over on the right side of Meyer.
Well, he's going up here to the vanilla big key location. Quizbowl taking it a little bit slower this time, no swag.
Oh, no, vanilla location.
Alright, Quizbowl goes ahead and unleashes Cold Stare. Gets the good knock into the corner. Now it's Fire Rod shots. And with half magic, just unload on him, dude.
Oh yeah, especially using Master Sword and you have Green Mail with 5 hearts, you don't want to be anywhere near Cold Stare.
Nah, he hits like a truck with Green Mail, which is kind of an interesting dynamic that happens in Randomizer. Because it's made for speedrunners and people who come over from the No Major Glitches community, there is a certain intention that you can beat these bosses there's no logic that says, oh, you have to have blue mail or red mail to beat these bosses, or you have to be able to have X number of hearts to be able to beat these bosses. It can be absolutely in logic to require to do something like a 5-heart fighter sword Mothula kill because it's possible. And if you're a newer runner, yes, that stinks when you get those seeds. It can be really difficult. At the same time, knowing that the logic can demand that out of you really forces you to up your game and be able to practice those sorts of things.
Yeah, so Dave almost all the way through Meyer is about to get to Vitreous. He is going to have to be careful on this fight because pretty much one hit from anything on Vitreous is going to kill him.
Well, yes, but Silvers. Silvers makes Vitreous kind of a joke.
Yeah, it does make the fight a lot easier, but that one hit, that's all it takes.
Meanwhile, here comes Quizbowl, going to be go-moding Swamp Palace. Might check a couple chests that are on the way.
He should be safe now. Yep, 2 arrows to Vitreous. Takes him down. And Vitreous holds Quake.
I mean, thanks, I guess. A worthless medallion doesn't even open anything for this.
I mean, you could Quake the Dead Rocks.
I mean, I suppose you could. Oh, Mirror Bonk didn't quite get far enough out there. And yeah, you see Quizbowl using that hook shot to his advantage. He's like, nope, not opening anything. And Ultimate Dave has got to be getting over here. If he had gone to the dig spot earlier, it would have been a pretty close race. But the longer he puts it off, the farther and farther ahead Quizbowl ends up getting.
Yeah, because at this point, Dave has to finish Swamp and Ice still. Whereas Quiz is going to be done with Swamp in a couple minutes and then just has Meyer.
Meyer's going to pull him around a little bit, only because that big key is way in the back of Misery Meyer. But Ultimate Dave is looking like he's getting ready to possibly dip into Swamp Palace without the hook shot, which would be a horrible idea.
I mean, I don't think he checked K45, so he might be going to those areas like this, but doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Nope, he's gonna dip swamp. Nope, never mind. He's checking Bombos potentially.
Yep, looks like it is. He is checking Bombos. Quizbowl was, I'm sure, hoping for a tempered sword prior to this Argus fight. 2 swings of the Master Sword are required for each puff here, which makes it a bit of a slower fight. Tempered Sword is just 1 swing, and sometimes if you're talented enough, you can pull it off with poke dash strats, which are amazing if you can pull it off.
Alright, so Dave looks like he's heading to the area. Probably check K45, but Quiz, 1 silver arrow to Argus takes him down. And he is going to check the shovel spot.
Oh, thank you, Dave. 2 anger slashes, I'm predicting it. Oh, no anger slashes, okay. So that's go mode for him, and since he's already in the swamp area, he's probably going to just dive right in directly, and he's going to be able to go mode swamp and ice as well. And wow, actually, that's it. Misery Mire, Quizbowl still has kind of an edge here, but a deep Misery Mire versus go mode swamp and ice, this is going to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, it'd probably be... I'm going to say Dave will probably be done with swamp and maybe halfway through ice.
Thereabouts sounds about right. Just knowing that where it is. Quizbowl can do some weird routing and try to hope that it's going to be in another item location, but generally speaking, that one vanilla big key chest location, which is where it is the single most out-of-the-way treasure chest in this entire dungeon. So, yeah, good luck, Quizbowl. And Dave knows he's in go mode. He's going to be bypassing all these same treasure chests. So, there's very possible to be a sword here somewhere. So both these runners in go mode, you start getting a little nervous at this game. It's about an hour 28. You're both in go mode. You start trying to go as fast as you can, but the thought is in the back of your mind because you can see when your opponent finishes. And you haven't seen your opponent finish, so the nerves, this is the mind game part of it. How close is my opponent to being done? Because neither of them have any idea where the other is.
Yeah, nerves definitely playing a factor right now. I'm thinking Quiz probably feels a little bit better, considering he's been in go mode for a good long while at this point, whereas Dave just got the hook shot and trying to probably think, okay, where was the shovel? All right, I've had access to the shovel for a very long time at this point.
Oh, Quizbowl taking another death here in Mire.
That does give Dave time to catch up, but Dave's going to have to be careful himself because he's got 1.5 hearts. There are some heart pickups down here that he might grab.
Yeah, this race right now, I think, is likely equivalent to a game of golf. It's not about making good plays, it's about minimizing your bad plays right now.
And I think Dave's either just completely committed to the idea of Master Sword, or he just thinks he's that far behind that he doesn't have time to check, because he's just skipping chests that he's literally walking right by.
Yeah. I think he really feels he's that far behind. Oh man, half a heart. You got to be super careful here, Dave. I think you're right. He's got no safeties.
Yeah, he hasn't went to go buy potions like Quiz did.
I will say one of the nice additions that were added to this randomizer was the ability to slow down the number of beeps.
Yes. Yeah, you could tell Dave was being a little bit careful there. He does get him down with the half-heart clutches the fight, but you could tell Dave was being careful with the half a heart. He was not grabbing any of the puffballs from the top or the bottom because they can actually hit you when you have Master Sword between your swipes.
So Ultimate Dave only has Ice Palace yet to go. I think you gotta, if you're getting ready to flute away, you just have to go up to the Witch's hut. Yeah, it looks like he's setting up his bottles to be able to do so.
Yep, he is. What you're thinking about, I'm about to go into Ice Palace. I have to do the bomb jump. I have to fight Cold Stare with Master Sword and Green Mail. Yeah, I'm going to go get some safeties, especially with how close all my last two boss fights have been. Cold Stare is not one of those bosses you want to take a death on for any reason.
He even burned his green bottle to buy another blue, so he's really worried about safeties. I think as you should be, going into some of these later dungeons with Green Mail. I think that's a fair concern to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so Ultimate Dave going through here a Go Mode Ice Palace. Meanwhile, Quizbowl is getting ready to approach his Silvered Vitreous. And these two are going to be very close. I mean, we're talking right, left side Gamble close and Ganon's Tower, depending on how things go here. Quizbowl approaching.
Yeah, you know, right, left side Gamble, a couple Trollorn falls, Ganon fall, especially if they're stuck on Master Sword when they get to him.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's something about, it's not about making good plays, it's about minimizing your bad plays, because every mistake could cost you the lead right now if you're either of these runners.
Alright, but Quizbowl takes down Vitreous, gets his Quake Medallion and his 7th crystal.
And ladies and gentlemen in chat, you know what that means. We have a little game we like to play here at Speed Gaming. There are 22 treasure chests located in Ganon's Tower that can possibly contain the Ganon's Tower Big Key. If you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming network of channels or have donated at least 250 bits throughout the entire channel sequences, you will be entered for our leaderboard. So go ahead, get your guesses in chat, 1 through 22. What's going to be your guess, sir?
I'm going to go with 17.
You know, I'm sticking with 18. It's been my guess now. Kind of doing it. So we're both in agreement. We're hoping for a late one, which means it's going to be on like 4 or something.
Dave having a little bit of problem with the bomb jump.
Yeah, this bomb jump always got the good setup there, at least for that. Nope, too low.
Yep, 1 pixel too low.
Yeah, there are a few different setups to learning it. Unfortunately, the primary way I know it is through sword, and I'm still too low.
I don't think he was far enough over. He's far enough over there. Too low.
Yeah, this is one of those bomb jumps that you just kind of have to practice, because it doesn't come. Bomb jumps don't come naturally in any capacity.
Yeah, and there's, like we said, there's a couple ways to set that bomb jump up, but usually, however you set that up, it's pretty much a pixel perfect bomb jump once you get to it. So it is a very difficult bomb jump still, but it's usually the first one you're going to learn just because of how much time it can save you.
And it looks like he mirrored out, and he's going to start collecting some treasures, hoping that maybe he'll get a heart refill at this point. Which, all right, Dave.
He has another blue potion. I think he's just not comfortable with the bomb jump at this point, so he's looking for the big key to just go in there the vanilla way.
Yeah, and he took a death, which is unfortunate for Dave. Meanwhile, we have Quizbowl entering Ganon's tower now. So we'll be using Quizbowl's chest unlocking locations. Side.
1, we got a compass. 2, we have a piece of heart. So we are going left side.
Required left side start. Well, unless you really funky routing, but required left side start. No keys mean it kind of forces you to go at least over here. A bug net on the torch. Number 4 is a full heart. Number 5 is another key. Number 6 is another key. And he's going to go ahead and start killing these skeletons. But number, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7!
Yep. It is 7. I mean, I got one of the numbers right.
I mean, and that's man, that I really wished for both these runners' sakes that it was a little bit further in, hoping to be able to pick up a sword upgrade, just because Master Sword is so horrible. And shout out to Kolbasaur, first subscriber and supporter to get number 7. GG Kolbasaur.
Quiz is going to, I'm guessing, going to end up using that blue potion here in a second.
Well, or he could get ready to use the safety room over here.
That's true, he could.
And this is the room we were talking about earlier, where we know that bonking is intended by the developers, because the only way to get into this room is to dash and bonk across that gap from those blocks. So because of that one individual bonk, We know that bonking across gaps is intended by the developers and thus built into the logic into this game.
But Quiz is starting his gauntlet.
And the skeleton's trolling him a little bit. We'll go over here to the Zazzes. And he's just saying, "Nah, no more. I'm tired of playing with you guys. I'm gonna bomb post everything."
I'm still on the hunt for that big key, though. There it is.
There it is.
So now we have our Unmost refight.
Very nice landmill refight. And Dave presumes he's behind now because he had to go hunting for that big key because he couldn't make the bomb jump. So he's going to be diving down here, skipping the big treasure chest, and on his way to his final showdown with Cold Stare.
Yep, and Quiz has just a couple more floors of Ganon's Tower to take care of.
Now, it's real interesting. It's entirely possible with these torches, if you set it up just right and you get through the door, you can actually despawn the top half of Ganon's Tower, which we see Quizbowl waiting. He does not come up until he hears that door hit because he does not want to accidentally despawn. That was a smart play by Quizbowl, being very aware that disaster can absolutely happen.
I bet he's going to check, I'm guessing, the last 4 chests looking for a Tempered Sword.
Tempered Sword, a male upgrade. I don't think he's picky. Dave, what are you... Dave?
Yeah, Dave using Burna strats.
Yeah, I wonder... I'm really curious why he's not just using Fire Rod strats, because, you know, then you could stay away from him. But gets him down nonetheless.
Yep, gets him down. And on Quiz's side, we see the Trolldorm 2 refight. No trolling this time, though. Just get a piece of heart.
Yep, so that's it. We're full committed now to our horrible Ganon fight that's going to be Master Sword, Green Mail. We do have silver, so it's not as bad as it can be. We also have 17 hearts total.
Yeah, I think he has... Actually, I think he's got all of his blue potions still, so...
Now we see Aga fight, and missed the whole first round. Oh, Aga is not cooperating with us today.
Yeah, not giving very good patterns at all.
Dave is now on his way up the tower, or the mountain.
And down goes Aga 2.
Yep. Quizbowl has defeated Aga2 at about 144.40. So he will be on his way to Mr. Blue Bacon himself. So the deal with Master Sword, the reason why it sucks so bad is because you have to damage him with spins. And when you have Green Mail, his first part where he's throwing the cane around, and then when he gets to the Fire Bat stage, it's just horrible.
And as you can see, he just used a blue potion, hits from the Trident, or the Fire Bat's going to give him 4 hearts worth of damage. A hug will double that.
And he's got to be super careful here. He's still in phase 1. I mean, it spins until the next one. Is it, what, 8 spins or 6 spins?
12 spins.
12 spins. It's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, without silvers, it would be 12 spins, 4 spins for phase 3, and then I believe it's 24 for phase 4. But since we have silvers, it's only made the 4 silver arrows.
He's using invulnerability frames from the hook shot to get to this next phase. Going to get a couple spins here. I'm horrible at Master Sword Ganon, so I just spin until until he's done spinning and call it good. And ooh, there's one of those hugs. 1 heart.
So this is his last blue potion. He's got to spin 10 more times.
Taking 2 hits from the Fire Bats there. He's really got to be careful now. There's Ultimate Dave. He has his spot. Oh boy, Quizbowl. And there's
down he goes. It's like, I'm going to guess Quizbowl, he's going to at least grab the fairy, but I wouldn't be surprised. The one thing is, he only has 240 rupees now. So, he can't grab blue potions, but he could go grab a couple reds.
Yeah, with half magic, he's not necessarily worried about, at least I wouldn't think he would be worried about magic usage. I mean, he does not have the cape, so he cannot use spin strats. Cane of Berta is great for invincibility, but you can't really use it on Ganon because you have to spin him. You can't spin with the Cane of Berta. So Quizbowl's in kind of an odd position right now, and that's all of his money. If he doesn't have a cleaner fight this time, then it's gonna be kind of a rough time for Quizbowl.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, as far as like Master Sword Ganon, what you ideally want to try to do is phase 1 really take absolutely no damage, because the Trident is a lot easier to dodge than the Fire Bats. That way you can keep all your safeties for the Fire Bats. Because once you get past phase 2, especially with silvers, phase 3 and phase 4 are pretty free at that point.
All right. So it does take 1 bit of damage there. And I get the instinct to just immediately slash at him if you miss a spin, but it does nothing.
In the meantime, Dave is making quick work of the tower.
Quizbowl doing a good job after that first initial hit, avoiding everything else. He's now on phase 2. Had 3 good spins there. It's just dodging bats now. Okay, Quiz having kind of a solid spot here. Oh, there was a hug. Oh, that's a bad spot for him to be in right now.
Yep, uses his first of 2 potions.
Dave is still putting in work here. You know, that particular torch room is one of those delineation rooms for me. If I have not seen my opponent finish by that room, I stop looking and just focus. Quizbowl does get through that second room now, is on phase 3. All right, did you find the arrows in the Dark World? Yes, Gannon, we did. Oh, man, he got sniped by that other fire bat. Does not get torch glitch for it either. Gonna pull out the red goo.
Yeah, he had 3 hearts left, so another hit from anything would have killed him. Dave's got Trolldorm in the enraged state.
Quizbowl playing it safe now. Ultimate Dave is getting ready for his Aga 2 fight. All right, this should be the 3rd hit. Oh, didn't quite get it.
That one just sailed right by him.
You can tell Quizbowl's nerves are getting to him a little bit, I think.
One
now,
more
one
arrow.
more hit. That was good discipline right there. You saw that Quizbowl did not get knocked back when he got hit with that fire bat. The way these hits work on Ganon is that if you get hit, you will move in the opposite direction of whatever pad you're hitting on your diagonal pad. Letting go means you're not going to run anywhere. Quizbowl does get him down. GG Quizbowl with the kill.
GG.
Finishes with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 14 seconds. GG Quizbowl, and a winner is you. Right as Ultimate Dave finishes up Aga and is about to do his big pig as well. You can't spin, Dave, with the Key of Burner. Just don't even equip it. All right, so Dave doing his best attempts. He did pick up some blue goo, and he has plenty of money in case he needs to dip out, in case he has some issues. And he's hit 1 heart already. Ooh.
Yeah, it took an unfortunate double hit on that trident on its way back. takes,
There's a
unfortunate
death. Yeah. I imagine he'll be going back and filling up on safeties as well. Sewing kit for sale? Oh yeah, 10 needles.
Yep.
All right, and joining us now is Quizbowl. GG, sir.
Wow. GG.
Yeah, it felt like you were getting a little bit tilted there in the Ganon fight.
How did I pull that off? That was I was for sure done like 3 times. Wow.
Yeah, both you and Ultimate Dave were pretty well neck and neck. I think the main differentiating factor is that he picked up his he went to the shovel spot quite a bit later than you did. He just took a death on Ganon and is going back for his second round. You guys were neck and neck. And then when
is he on Master Sword as well?
Yeah, he's on Master Sword Silver, same as you.
Wow, yeah, that's tough. And when you know that the done signal is coming, it's just hard to stay focused, get those spins in. All the practice you do up to this point is either tempered or butter, and I need to practice that more.
There is a downside to being able to go mode Ice Palace and Swamp Palace and completely skip Turtle Rock. So
yeah, lots of value to be had there. That I'm glad I didn't have to go after it, but at the same time, at the end, I'm like, oh, give me a sword, or give me blue mail, Oh man.
Yeah, but Master Sword, Green Mail, Ganon was kind of a jerk too through it all.
Yeah, yes he was. I just but it's 4 hearts for the for the trident and the fire bats. I'm just not used to taking that much damage.
I can understand it. You're at the point where you're like you're not practiced in Green Mail Ganon, and it's just everything is amplified. But thanks to you, I will now be practicing my low percent strats myself.
Yes. Word to the wise. Get those low percent strats going. But other than the execution side of things, that's kind of where I fell down. But I felt pretty good about the routing. So.
Yeah, some of your routing was really amazing. You read the seed pretty well early. You ended up, as soon as you dove Eastern Palace, knowing that it was the green pendant. It's like, I'm not going to check Sahasrara because you were going to go ahead and do it and get the green pendant. And that led to boots, which you immediately turned in at King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks, which had Mirror and Fire Rod of all things.
Yeah, that was crazy. That it's like filling out my inventory really quickly right after that. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of what gave you a slight lead, and then that just kind of ballooned a little bit. Was Quizbowl went to do his Dark World routing first, right after Eastern Palace, whereas you went check King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, which, guessing you found the mirror, that led you to Death Mountain, which gave you the shovel. So when you did your Dark World routing, you could just kind of route the hook shot in at that point.
Yeah. I knew when I saw that shovel that I knew exactly where I wanted to route that. I said, okay, I'm gonna do my Dark World, tour the purple chest, and I'm gonna mirror back. And I held on to that for whatever 30 minutes it took to get to that point, but. I'm glad I remembered that. I kept that going because that was the hook shot, right?
Yeah, that was the hook shot, and that was, I would say, your go mode was Bombos. Ultimate Dave ended up diving Palace of Darkness a little bit earlier, so he had Bombos. We knew where it was, and we were like, well, logically, he had already kind of done the routing, but didn't have the shovel spots. We're like, when is he going to be able to do it? Oh, he just got a nice double on Ganon.
Yeah, I was arguing whether or not I should go to Swamp Palace or Palace of Darkness right there at that point, searching for Bombos, and I think ultimately I decided I would rather full clear Palace of Darkness first, with the hopes of finding Bombos, so that I could have the opportunity to full clear Swamp later. And I don't know, and sometimes it's just a 50-50 on that, but.
Meanwhile, we are joined by Ultimate Dave live. GG, Dave. How are you feeling after that rough seed?
My execution was abysmal that run.
Same here. Finally, I decided I would rather full clear.
I had a really bad
House of Darkness first, with the hopes of finding Bombos.
Pod
so
back into pod that cost me finishing Helmasar pretty quick, and then
sometimes it's just a
Ice Palace. I tried for the bomb jump and just full tilted, and it was not good.
Yeah, I mean, really the main difference, I think, in this race, because you guys were very close throughout all of it. The Ice Palace bomb jump really hurt you a little bit there, Dave, but I think the differentiating factor was that hook shot at the shovel spot. Quizbowl got it early and then went over to Palace of Darkness and was able to go mode it or get the bombos, and then it's like, well, go mode from here. But everyone, I think, struggled with Ganon a little bit. No one's really fully prepared for the damage that Ganon does to Green Mail.
Yeah, Green Mail Master Sword Ganon is no joke. It's not fun whatsoever.
No. I mean, I was so sure you had that. I took a death on Ganon, and I left to go get potions, and I was like, he's gonna finish while I'm off doing this. And I'm really surprised that I was able to pull this out. I mean, death of Ganon. I took a death to the Freezors and Ice Palace. Where else? Just a random death in Misery Mire, just because everything in there just hits like a truck.
Yeah, I did the same in Misery Mire. I took a death there too.
I want to go back and find the mail upgrades in the seed.
Yeah, I kind of want to do the same, or even the sword upgrades.
Well, at this point, I think there's somewhere. I mean, you both were able to go mode all of Swamp Palace, all of Ice Palace, completely skip Turtle Rock. We had an early Ganon's Tower big key. I was really hoping for a late Ganon's Tower key just so you guys can get something, because I know how horrible that fight was.
Yeah, what was it? The fourth or fifth or something like that? It was in the that upper left room, and it's like, why couldn't it be in Rando room this time?
Yeah, it ended up being chest 7.
7.
Yeah, I was surprised when it was where it was, because usually, at least for me and most of my seeds anyway, more often than not, big keys usually in rando rooms. So I was kind of hoping for that, maybe to get lucky into a tempered or something.
I think I opened every chest on the Ascent too. Just give me something.
I was debating on it, but I felt pretty confident at least until I got to the Ganon fight. Then I got humbled very quickly.
Yeah, Ganon's kind of a jerk on occasion. It's like he doesn't want to give up his power source or anything, but, we deal with it.
We do our best.
I was going to ask you, Dave, about that Cold Stare fight. So no Fire Rod. You opted instead for Burna and Master Sword slashes.
I was just thinking at that point, I looked at the time and noticed that Quiz wasn't done, so I figured I'd already had a couple pretty nasty deaths earlier in the seed, and if I had another one, I knew it was, if there was any chance of me being close in this race, a death there would have been not great, so I just decided to play it super, super safe.
Okay, that explains it. I was like, what's he doing?
Yeah, why did it have to be the cane too? I would have really preferred the magic cape, because then at least I could have used that, on Ganon.
I think this seed definitely told me that, or showed me that I need to spend a little bit more time on the practice ROM.
Yeah, usually when I fire at the practice ROM, I do the Moldorm 2, and then I go to Aghanim 2 and finish that up, and then I get to Ganon, and I'm like, hey, let's try Ganon with the green mail just for fun, and then I'm like, never mind, I'll just try that again later.
Well, in finishing this up, Quizbowl, the dream is still technically alive. I think the term I used earlier is you're on the bubble. There's going to be a handful of 4 and 3 folks who get in. We don't really know how many at this point in time, but the dream is still alive. What's your thoughts going into next week? How nervous are you?
I'm not terribly nervous. I know 4 and 3, is it's going to be a slim chance to get in even with 4 and 3. I was looking at some of my earlier opponents, looking at their records, and they unfortunately weren't among the 5-1 and 6-0 crowd. So the strength of my schedule is not looking too favorable. But last tournament I got 3 wins. So this tournament I have 3 wins. So I'm happy with the 3 wins. I'll try and grab a 4th one. But the whole tournament process, I've had tons of fun, and thanks to you guys for putting it on, doing the commentary, doing the tracking, and all that. It's makes this whole process so much fun. And I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Dave. Any kind of final thoughts from you on this seed as we're getting ready to wrap up as well?
Not really. I just want to say thanks to you guys for commentating, and to Cyclone for the restream, and to Speed Gaming for the restream, and to our tracker as well. Also, I just came into this tournament hoping to get at least a win. I got 2 already, so maybe we can pull off a 3rd next week. If not, I was pretty new coming into this tournament as far as with Rando, so I've learned a lot. And I think next go around, I think I'll do a lot better. So here's to hoping next week goes better. And I want to wish Quizbowl best of luck on his next round.
Thank you. Same to you. And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say happy birthday to Dave as well. It was Dave's birthday yesterday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. If you want to give either Quizbowl or UltimateDaveLIVE a follow, we'll get their links over here in the Twitch chat. GG to both of them. Also, big shout out to Merc, our wonderful tracker, Speed Gaming. If you want to follow any of the Speed Gaming Network's channels, there's still lots of Randomizer left to go through this week. Make sure to follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6, or also ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Some other matches that are happening. We're 2 matches that are about an hour in. Looks like Valkyrie Tierra versus Nihon Tiger over on ALTTP Randomizer, but also Kern versus Silly Kyle 22 over on Speed Gaming 4. Looks like kind of a relatively light slate tonight, but there's still some rando going on, so if you need to, go ahead and get that going. And also, big shout out to my wonderful co-commentator, Sir Linkalot 777, man. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to work with you again as well.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Remember, follow all the Speed Gaming Networks, the runners, the trackers, everyone. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys at the next match.